The universe is not silent. It speaks in whispers of purpose. Every sunrise is a reminder you are still part of a divine plan. You were not created by accident. Your existence is intentional. Even silence echoes with God's voice when the heart is ready to hear. Look up. The stars are not random. They are reminders of order. You are not lost. You are being redirected. Pain is not punishment. It is preparation. The universe bends toward those who believe. When you feel empty, God is making space for something new. Faith doesn't make sense. It makes miracles. Even your breath is borrowed from the divine. Storms don't come to destroy. They come to reveal roots. When the universe removes something, trust it's making room for better. Your waiting is not wasted. It is sacred time. There's a reason your heart beats. It's heaven's rhythm. When you doubt your worth, look at the cross. God doesn't shout. He whispers to the willing. Every tear is noticed. Every prayer is heard. When the door closes, heaven opens a window of light. The universe isn't against you. It's aligning things for you. What feels like delay is often divine protection. Faith is walking when you can't see the floor beneath. Even darkness obeys divine command. You're not too late. You're right on God's time. What you call coincidence is often God's signature. He doesn't give signs to the eyes, but to the spirit. Your mess can still become your message. When the soul cries, heaven listens. The stars above you are witnesses of your destiny. If you're breathing, you're not finished. God didn't bring you this far to leave you now. Your life is a verse in heaven's song. He sees what you hide and loves you still. You're not chasing the divine. It's been chasing you. Hope isn't dead. It's just been buried under doubt. Every fall is an invitation to rise. When the world ignores you, God leans closer. The more broken you feel, the closer the potter comes. Don't fear the silence. It's where God speaks the loudest. Even the universe obeys his whisper. You've been chosen for such a time as this. The wind that broke you will also carry you forward. God can resurrect what you buried in fear. When you feel forgotten, heaven remembers your name. Your scars are stories of survival, not shame. Grace doesn't run out, it overflows. The night may be long, but dawn is certain. He turns ashes into beauty every time. Let go. Your hands weren't meant to carry it all. He's not asking you to be perfect, just present. Faith isn't about answers, it's about trust. Even the waiting room is part of God's process. When you feel like giving up, don't. The universe is holding its breath for your breakthrough. You were created for more than survival. You were created to shine. The divine never forgets the address of a surrendered heart. The same God who created galaxies hears your sighs. You don't have to figure it out. Just follow the light. Healing begins where surrender begins. Your heartache is not invisible to heaven. Even in chaos, God is still in control. Faith is choosing belief when fear makes more sense. He's not far, he's closer than your next breath. Your story isn't over. You're just turning the page. Miracles often start with nothing but faith. What was meant to break you will bless you. He knows your name and your silent prayers. You weren't made to carry shame. You were made for grace. God's timing may confuse you, but it's never wrong. The universe speaks in alignment, not coincidence. Even delays have divine purpose. There's power in your presence because of who walks with you. He's not done writing your story. Let him finish. You don't have to see the full path, just the next step. He hears what you don't know how to say. Faith makes giants fall and walls crumble. The universe bends for surrendered hearts. He is always speaking. Are you listening? You're not disqualified. You're just in preparation. What broke you yesterday is birthing purpose today. Even wilderness seasons are guided by grace. Don't chase signs. Follow peace. He can still use you, especially now. Where you see nothing, Heaven sees possibility. You were made for divine encounters. Your yes to God changes more than you know. You're not forgotten. You are being held. God's light shines brightest in surrendered darkness. Even if the world rejects you, heaven receives you. You don't need the world's approval. You already have God's love. Nothing is wasted, not one tear, not one moment. The call is real, and it's calling you back home. God doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes He just waits for you to be quiet. His voice isn't always heard. It's often felt. He speaks not only in words, but in presence. God's silence is not absence, it's invitation. The Creator speaks in language your soul understands. You've been hearing Him. You just didn't know it was Him. When everything falls apart, His whisper becomes louder. You can hear God better in surrender than in strategy. He doesn't need a microphone. Your spirit is His receiver. Not every delay is the devil. Sometimes it's God's redirection. He speaks through sunsets and strangers. His voice wraps around your pain like a blanket. Don't just listen with ears, listen with your spirit. You've mistaken His patience for distance. When your plans crumble, His voice becomes the blueprint. He's not a God of confusion. He's a God of confirmation. Sometimes the answer is peace, not words. He speaks most clearly when the heart is open. God is not ignoring you. He's aligning you. He calls you by name, even when the world forgets it. You heard Him when you felt that tug in your chest. He never stopped calling. You just stopped tuning in. The universe echoes His frequency. Every unanswered prayer is still a conversation. You won't hear Him if you're always talking. When the room is silent, the Spirit speaks. God's voice doesn't beg, it invites. He speaks in dreams, in delays, and in divine disruptions. You can miss His words, but you can't miss His presence. Even the closed doors carry His fingerprints. God doesn't change His mind about calling you. He won't compete with your distractions. He waits for your surrender. The loudest part of Him is His love. He doesn't demand attention. He deserves it. Even your doubt has heard His whisper. He speaks in the longing you can't explain. His voice brings clarity, not confusion. You don't need a sign. You need stillness. You felt Him in the moment you almost gave up. He's not hard to find, just hard to ignore once you truly seek Him. When you're at your weakest, His voice is the strongest. He speaks in perfect timing, never early, never late. You can silence your surroundings, but you can't silence His pull. The ache in your heart is often His invitation. Even if you've wandered, His voice still finds you. He doesn't just speak to you, He speaks for you. He speaks in the rhythm of your heartbeat. God's voice doesn't shame, it sets free. When you're confused, listen for peace. That's Him. He speaks louder through presence than performance. You've been waiting for lightning, but He's been whispering all along. His voice doesn't need to overpower, it overcomes. He speaks in pauses, not pressure. Your failure didn't silence Him, it summoned Him. Even when you're angry with Him, He speaks in love. He speaks through the Word, through worship, and through your weakness. The voice of God is not just for preachers, it's for sons and daughters. If you're looking for Him, He's already speaking. He speaks in your emptiness, not just your excellence. God's voice breaks chains, not hearts. When you're ready to obey, you'll hear clearly. He doesn't speak to your ego. He speaks to your essence. The Spirit doesn't yell. It gently nudges. He speaks in the pause between your thoughts. The voice of God doesn't confuse. It convicts. His voice is a lighthouse in your storm. You'll hear Him when you stop expecting a certain sound. He doesn't speak to impress. He speaks to transform. His words don't just inform, they ignite. He whispers when He wants your full attention. Sometimes His no is louder than your yes. He's not silent, He's sacred. Every time you choose peace over panic, you're hearing Him. Even the universe bows when God speaks. His voice doesn't compete, it calls. He speaks beyond logic, beyond rules, beyond fear. You don't have to qualify to hear him, you just have to be willing. The volume of the world can't drown out the voice of the one who made it. You'll hear him best when you stop running. He's calling you, not to religion but to relationship. His voice is found in stillness, not in striving. You've been waiting for him to answer, but he's been waiting for you to listen. When God speaks, everything changes, including you. Faith is not a feeling, it's a decision. Believing in him means trusting what you can't see, yet still walking forward. When faith rises, fear has no room to stay. You don't need all the answers, you just need the anchor. Faith starts with a whisper. What if God is really with me? Belief is the bridge between where you are and where he's calling you. Miracles don't come to those who wait perfectly. They come to those who believe persistently. Even mustard seed faith can move what mountains fear to face. When you step in faith, heaven steps with you. Faith sees light when the eyes still see darkness. Belief is not blind, it's bold. You don't walk by faith because it's easy. You walk because it's eternal. Faith isn't about proving anything. It's about trusting someone. When you believe, God begins. Faith makes you brave in places fear tried to bury you. Even when you doubt yourself, believe in the one who made you. God honors faith, not perfection. Every time you say, I still believe, heaven celebrates. Faith speaks louder than fear ever will. Believing in him changes how you see everything, even pain. He doesn't ask you to understand, just to trust. Faith isn't magic, it's movement. You don't have to feel strong to take a step of faith. When faith leads, miracles follow. You may not see the whole staircase, but take the first step. God meets you after you step, not before. Faith doesn't erase storms, it calms your soul in the middle of them. Doubt may visit, but faith lets it know it can't stay. Faith holds on when everything else says, let go. Believing in him is how you rise again and again. Even your broken belief is enough for God to work with. Faith makes room for grace to enter. God doesn't require big faith, just real faith. He's not impressed by how much you know. He's moved by how much you trust. You believed in the problem too long. Now believe in the promise. When you trust him, the weight shifts off your shoulders. Faith doesn't make life perfect. It makes it possible. Even when the facts say no, faith says, but God. He's not asking for flawless belief. He's asking for fearless surrender. Every miracle begins with someone who dared to believe. Faith makes your footsteps matter in eternity. Belief is the seed, your life is the harvest. Faith is louder in silence, stronger in weakness. When you say, I believe, chains start breaking. He's never failed a single believer, and he won't start with you. Faith grows not in comfort, but in challenge. Your belief can shift your bloodline. Faith doesn't always change circumstances, but it always changes you. You've tried everything else. Now trust him. There's power in your belief, because of the one you believe in. Even if no one else understands, keep believing. Faith is the yes that breaks the enemy's no. God meets you where your belief begins. Even when you whisper, I still trust you, heaven hears it as a roar. Faith doesn't need approval. It just needs alignment. What you believe determines what you become. Faith is saying yes while your knees are shaking. Believe, not because it's easy, but because he is worthy. The moment you believe, eternity begins moving towards you. You are never too far gone for faith to find you. Faith is the fire that never stops burning. When you choose belief, you partner with heaven. Doubt may shout, but faith stands firm. He's not asking for perfect steps, just forward ones. Even when it looks like nothing is happening, your faith is growing. Belief builds bridges that fear tries to burn. You can rise again if you believe again. Faith is the heartbeat of the soul. God writes the most beautiful stories with believers who won't give up. The world may not see it, but heaven sees your faith. One step in faith can break generations of bondage. Faith opens doors that hustle never could. Believing in Him means trusting that He's never late. Your faith is stronger than your feelings. What you water with belief will bloom in time. Keep believing, even when the breakthrough takes time. Faith is the fight that never fails. The moment you believe, you become unstoppable. Every act of faith is a step toward your purpose. God is not testing you, He's training you through faith. Faith turns questions into confidence. When you believe, heaven responds. God is not afraid of your weak faith. He works through it. Even a trembling belief is more powerful than a loud doubt. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to believe He is. Faith is not naive. It's supernatural. Believing in Him will cost you your fear, but it will give you freedom. God doesn't love you because He loves you regardless. His love doesn't waver based on your weakness. You can't outrun His love. It chases. You can't destroy His love. It rebuilds. Even when you fall, His love stays. God's love isn't earned. It's given. He loved you before you knew Him. He loved you when you didn't love yourself. There is no failure stronger than His forgiveness. God doesn't love a future version of you. He loves you now. His love isn't based on your past. It's based on His heart. You don't have to fix yourself to be loved by Him. God's love doesn't expire. Even in silence, His love speaks loud. He doesn't love you less because you struggle. He loves you more. God's love finds you in the middle of your mess. You can't sin too far. You can only fall into grace. He holds no record of wrongs, only reminders of His mercy. The cross is proof. He'd rather die than live without you. God's love goes deeper than shame. You are not tolerated. You are treasured. His love doesn't break. It binds. There is no gap His love can't cross. He saw the worst in you and stayed. You are never too much for His love. God's love doesn't need your perfection. It needs your permission. You are fully known and still fully loved. God never pauses His love, not even for a moment. Even when you run, He walks behind you. You may feel unworthy, but He calls you chosen. His love holds you when the world drops you. There is no height or depth where His love won't reach. God's love is not a theory, it's a rescue. You didn't earn His love, so you can't lose it. He doesn't love you for what you do. He loves you for who you are. Even when you let go, He holds on. There is no mistake too big for mercy. His love isn't limited. It's limitless. You are never alone in His love. His love doesn't push away, it pulls in. Even your doubts don't make Him love you less. God's love restores what shame tried to destroy. You are not abandoned, you are adored. He doesn't give up, even when you give in. God's love is not distant, it is dwelling within. He wraps you in love even when you run in fear. His love doesn't fade, it fuels. God's love looks beyond the surface and sees the soul. You were made by love, for love, to be loved. His love is the anchor in every storm. He doesn't leave when it's hard, He leans in. God doesn't give you part of His heart, He gives you all of it. Even in your rebellion, He kept reaching. His love is not emotional, it's eternal. You don't need to qualify, you already belong. God's love gives second chances, and third, and infinite. You can always come home. His love is the door. No distance can deny His closeness. His love has no off switch. Even when you're silent, His love sings. He knows the cracks, and still calls you beautiful. His love is a fire that warms even cold hearts. You are not invisible to Him. You are invaluable. God's love breaks walls, not hearts. He doesn't love you less when you doubt. He loves you deeper. Your failures don't disqualify you from His love. They invite it. You don't have to prove your worth. His love already settled that. He sees the pain behind your smile and loves you through it. You can fall 1,000 times, and His love will lift you 1,000 more. God doesn't love in portions, He loves in full. Even if no one else chooses you, He already did. His love never shouts shame, it whispers healing. You don't have to pretend, you can rest. His love is not earned by performance, but received in surrender. He loved you yesterday. He loves you today, and He will love you tomorrow. You don't have to chase Him, just turn around. His love is not afraid of your scars, it heals them. Nothing in heaven or earth can separate you from His love. He will never love you more than He already does. Even if you walked away, His love stayed. There is no night too dark for the light of His love. You are loved more than you can ever understand. You are loved fully, freely, forever. 1. He was ready to end it all. A note written, a plan in place. But that night, he heard a soft voice in his heart. You're not finished yet. He dropped the plan. Today, he shares hope with those who feel hopeless. Faith didn't just save his life, it gave him one. 2. She was abandoned by everyone she trusted, a broken heart, an empty future. But one night, she opened a dusty Bible and read, I will never leave you nor forsake you. She cried for hours. That moment changed everything. She now leads women to healing through God's love. 3. He grew up thinking God was distant, maybe even angry. But one day, in prison, a chaplain told him, God is not punishing you, He's pursuing you. He broke down. Right there in chains, he found true freedom. Now he mentors other inmates in faith. 4. She lost everything in 1 year, her job, her home, her mother. People said, you must have done something wrong. But she held on to this truth. When all is gone, God is still enough. Months later, doors opened she never expected. She now helps others rise from the ashes. 5. He hated church, hated God, called it all fake. But when his son got sick and the doctors gave no hope, he prayed for the first time. I don't know you, but if you're real, help my boy. His son lived. Now he believes with unshakable faith. 6. She thought she'd never heal from her abuse. The shame was too loud, but one day someone looked her in the eyes and said, you are not what happened to you. You are God's beloved. Those words changed her life. Now she helps other survivors believe again. 7. He failed at everything: business, relationships, dreams. He said, God must be disappointed in me. But in a small group at church, he heard this: God is not done with you. Failure is just a page, not the whole book. That night, hope returned. He now helps others start again. 8. She got tired of pretending. Perfect smile, perfect posts, but empty inside. One evening, she said aloud, God, I'm tired of being fake. I want to know you for real. That night, peace entered her like never before. Now, her life is marked by authenticity and grace. 9. He battled addiction for years, tried rehab 5 times. One night, crying in the dark, he said, Jesus, if you're real, I need you now. He hasn't touched a drop since. Now, he speaks in high schools, sharing his story of freedom. 10. She believed God could love others, but not her. Too many regrets, too much shame. But in a church service, the preacher said, you can't out-sin the blood of Jesus. She broke down, and she finally believed, even me. Now, she helps others find forgiveness too. You've heard the truth. You've seen the stories. Now the call is for you, not tomorrow, not when you're better. Right now, God is calling you by name. You were never forgotten. You were never unloved. He saw every tear. He heard every silent prayer. And still, he says, come. Come with your doubts. Come with your fears. Come with your guilt and your shame. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. He's not waiting to punish. He's waiting to embrace. There is no mistake that can keep him from you. He already chose you. He already forgave you. He already paid it all. The cross wasn't a message of judgment. It was a message of mercy. This is not religion. This is relationship. God wants you, not your performance. He is your Father. Jesus is your Savior. And the Holy Spirit is your helper. Will you answer the call? Will you say, "Yes, I believe"? This is your moment. Your heart is ready. Even now, something inside is waking up. That's Him. He's near, closer than your next breath. Say it aloud. Jesus, I believe. I surrender. I receive your love. There is no formula, just faith. There is no pressure, just presence. You were created for this connection. He wants to walk with you, talk with you, heal you, restore you, use you, lift you, lead you. You don't have to go back to who you were. You don't have to carry what you used to. You are free. You are chosen. You are His. Now begin again, not in your strength, but in His. Start the journey. Let Him write your story, because the God of the universe wants to walk with you.